Hey, this is JD and welcome back to my channel. And here we're going to look at the Citizen Eco Drive, and this is the Aqualand. Citizen Eco Drive Aqualand. Now I made a video previously on this watch and it was an unboxing, but I didn't have it working. As you can see here, the lower dial here shows the seconds and it is working. If the power is down, this seconds hand will jump 2 seconds at a time, telling you that the power is in fact down. As you can see, I've got a nice black bezel here, and then it transitions into red at the top. I believe the bezel is stainless steel. It's got a pip at the top, and that pip is in fact luminescent. So the lume on this watch is quite amazing. From a power perspective as well, it has an indicator right here, and the blue stripe is an indicator. And right now it's showing level 2 full power, and then as you go to the right, it shows level 1, which is not full power, but you can still dive with this watch at level 1. And then the third indicator says NG, and when it says NG, I think that's probably no good. Anyway, you can't dive when it's on NG. The watch will not go into dive mode. This hand here, the red hand here, is called the function hand. So it's not the second hand, it's a function hand, but it can be used as a chronometer. So this watch actually is used as a chronometer. Before I do that, I'll show you over here, this secondary subdial on the left is actually just a 24-hour time. And then you have over here on the right the date, and that's not the correct date today, but that's the date. And you have an indicator here, and there is a logo right down there. So that's the Citizen logo for this type of watch. It's a pretty beefy watch. So let me show you the chronograph here for a second and see if I can do this. First of all, you have to unscrew. Let's flip it up to the back first and have a look at the back of the watch. So you've got, there's the back of the watch. It says Citizen Eco Drive on this. Citizen Eco Drive, and it says do not open, service center. So they don't want you to be playing with this Eco Drive. It's got an Eco Drive green battery in there. So, and this is a rechargeable battery cell. It's kind of like a capacitor. So it's an atypical case back here. So you could use a case back opener to do this. So the crown is a screw down crown, but the buttons are also screw down, because this watch, you can go down to 200 meters with this watch. So when you unscrew the buttons, let me show you this here. You just do that, and all this does is relieve the buttons to allow them to be pressed downward. So let me just do this one here, and then you can press the buttons downward. And I think I can get it into chronograph mode here if I could recall how to do this. You just press this button here, you hold it down, and it swings around a few times, and as you can see, that upper subdial lines up with, there we go. Now it's in chronograph mode. Sorry, I dropped my camera here, and then I just have to click this button at the top, and that activates the chronograph. And just like any chronograph, you would just stop it here, and it's 1 second at a time, so it's not a 1/100th of a second type chronograph. So you just stop the chronograph like that, and then you press the button again, and it goes back to 0 again. Now if I hold the button down, it'll go out of chronograph mode, and it has to turn around a few times because it's taking this small white subdial hand and moving it back into that blue space. And that blue space means that it's a ready mode for either dive mode, and it's setting, as you can see, level 2 battery level. So the hands, this hand here has got a cathedral hand. The hour hand's a cathedral hand with a pip on the end, or a teat on the end, and it is white. And then the minute hand is a red hand, and it's skeletonized a bit at the sub level. The actual bezel here is a 120 click bezel. It's solid, and it's got 0 playback at all. So it's perfect bezel, 0 playback. Now this watch will also go into dive mode. So when this indicator here, or this sensor here, feels water, right, touches water, the watch knows it's in water and it goes into dive mode. And here we have the device that actually, it's a pressure sensor here, and there is, I suspect, some kind of a bladder or whatever in here that allows it to detect water. It's kind of like my old regulator in my scuba tank, or my Jacques Cousteau regulator that I had years ago. I think my wife got it, and it's an original Jacques Cousteau regulator. It's very old, and there's a diaphragm in here, and the diaphragm would be able to detect the pressure. When the water pressure in meters is detected, as you can see in the ring, the outer ring here, it says 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 20. This function hand actually swings over to the 0 meter position, and then as you go into the water and dive at greater depths, it'll go 3, 6, 9, 12, and whatever. And another interesting function here is that you can press this button here, and it will basically tell you the last depth this watch was at. I don't think it'll do anything right now because, yeah, so it's 0 meters. So I pressed it and it went to 0 because that is the last depth this watch was at. I've never been diving with this watch before, so there you go. So what else about this? We've got on the ring here, you've got it says depth meter on the ring here, and then over here it says Aqua, which is the brand of this watch, and it's a I'm trying to remember here, it's a B740 movement in here. So it's a Citizen B740 movement, so you can look up the manual for that movement to see how this works in more detail and how to set things, but it's not that difficult to set once you get it going. So this is the watch. It's a thing of beauty. It's about, I think, 51 millimeters lug to lug, and I think 52 or 53 from in diameter, including these, including the crown and this depth gauge. And the crown works like any other typical crown, where you just pull it out, and to set the time, you pull it out twice. To set the date, you pull it out once, and you turn it backwards, and the date sets on it. So there's nothing unique about the way the crown works. It is an eco drive watch, so which means it's solar powered. And as you can see, I got it powered up to level 2, which is nice. When you first get the watch, you can power it up to level 2. This watch will run for, I think, 6 months powered up at level 2. And you need to keep it in the sun occasionally, so you should wear it, and don't wear it with a jacket over it all the time. Give it some sunlight, keep it charged. My recommendation is to keep it charged daily, and that way your Eco Drive battery will last a long time. I don't believe these batteries have memory, so I don't think that if you charge it up to 50% and only to 50% a number of times, that it won't charge beyond 50%. So some batteries have memory. You don't want that. So this is pretty cool, having the plungers. Having the plungers are waterproof, so they've got this these little screw-in protectors, I'll call them, like this. So you just turn those in, and this disallows you to use the plunger. Plus, it pushes it outward, and I suspect there's an inside rubber ring on these plungers that pushes outward, and that ensures that the water doesn't come in. So it's you can go to a depth of 200 meters with this watch, so which is nice. But 200 meters, not a lot of people go down to 200 meters. So from a depth stop nitrogen narcosis perspective, if you go down to 60 feet for 1 hour, you do not have to do a depth stop. So if you keep your sport diving down to 65 deepest for an hour, then you're good. If you're in a lake or something. If you're going to go down deeper, then you have to stay less time or do depth stops. So there we go. There's the watch, the Citizen Aqua. It's a beast. I think that actually it wears very well. It's got a nice rubber strap that it comes with. It's the world's thickest rubber. I'm probably going to put a steel strap on this baby, but very nice watch, and there's a little bit better of a review for this watch. So thanks for watching my channel, and please subscribe, hit the like button, and you can comment. It's early in the morning, that's why I've got my blues voice right now. Oh yeah.